Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this evening's uh, great time. And please allow me to share my screen. I'm very apologetic for the delay caused due to some CBSE registration process. Nonetheless, let us begin with today's session. I hope you all are genuinely doing well this evening. And while we begin with today's session, let us quickly take a recap of last week's session. So last time we spoke about the globe. We spoke about the latitudes and longitudes. We spoke about the hemispheres of the globe. And we did speak about a variety of things like the latitudes and longitudes, which are there, the prime meridian, the international dateline, how is the globe different from a map, and what are the things we need to do in calculation of the time sums. So we've done a whole lot of things last week with a little revision as well. The kinds of maps, the components of a map, we've done all of it last week. So today we are going to move ahead from there, and we shall then cover a little of the maps and globe, as well as we will start with the physical features of India. So I hope everyone's set. And just to remind you all one more time, in case if there is anything left out, please make a note of it and we will take all queries in the chat box. So last time too, we did this. We did the types of maps and they are based on scale. And I remember having shown the map on scale, the map to scale, the large scale and the small scale maps. And we did maps based on functions, the political map, the physical map, and the thematic map. So one more time, I will show you what are the three types of maps. And then I also remember we had done the difference between a sketch and a plan last time, which we will cover. We had done the cardinal directions, the conventional symbols, all of that we had covered in detail. So this is the figure. And in this figure, you can see a whole lot of arrows. I will keep the chat box open on the side. So what you can do is, at the same time, I would request you to simultaneously answer these questions in the chat box. I would request you to answer these questions simultaneously in the chat box. So in figure 2A, B is to the north. Sorry for that. So B was to the north in this particular figure, the first figure. Therefore, in the remaining figures, I'm keeping the chat box open. Now you can tell me as I ask the question. You can tell me in figure D, in figure B, figure 2B, D, alphabet D is dash to C. Quickly mention it in the chat.
Can we say it orally, Khyati ma'am? Otherwise,
No, I would prefer a chat coming up because when the chat comes in, it doesn't disturb the recording. So Ruby ma'am says it is northwest. Very good, Ruby ma'am. Congratulations. And what about, yes, Soraya ma'am, congratulations. In figure 2C, alphabet F is dash to E. Perfect, Ruby ma'am. Ruby ma'am is very quick at all this now. She seems to be a pro with checking onto map directions. Beautiful. And Surya ma'am is getting a hang of it. Okay, now in figure 2D, H, alphabet H is dashed to G. Very good. Ruby ma'am and Surya ma'am have both got the answer correct. In figure 2E, alphabet J is dashed to I. Very well done. And the last one, alphabet L is dashed to K. Very, very well done, Ruby ma'am and Suraya ma'am. Congratulations. Keep it up. So we spoke about a sketch and a plan last time. A sketch, I told you, is like an engagement, something that's temporary. Whereas a map is a plan is a properly drawn sketch. So it's clearly measuring what comes where. And finally, you have a map, which is a true geographical representation of the whole part of the earth. Maps are generally made to scale. So you can see the sketch, the plan, and the map, all three in front of you. Now coming to the latitude and longitude of India, last time I remember we had covered latitude matlab letna, horizontal latitude. Longitudes are long, they are standing. Latitude, longitude. Now if you are a bit more careful, then I will be able to point this out to you. So I will take this color, but I want a different size of script. Now the northernmost latitude of India is over here at 37.6 degrees north. Always remember the alphabet has to be written for the latitude to be correct. So the direction here is north. The southernmost latitude of India is 8 degrees 4 minutes north, which you are able to see here. Again, the alphabet has to be written. Okay. So 8 degrees 4 minutes and the alphabet is north. Okay. So can anybody mention in the chat, why do we have north latitude when it is still in the south? Why do we write north for 8 degrees 4 minutes when it is still to the south of India? So can you write that in the chat, please? Why do we call it north in the direction when it is still to the south of India? Very good, Saraya ma'am. Brilliant. Because it is in the northern hemisphere. India is in the northern hemisphere. And Ruby ma'am says, because we are above the equator. Very, very good, Ruby ma'am. We are above the equator, and as we all know, latitudes are measured north of the equator or south of the equator. So India is north of the equator, so the latitudes will be always written as north of the equator. Coming to the longitudes, these vertical lines that you see on the map. So the westernmost longitude of India over here is at 68 degrees 7 minutes, and the alphabet is east. And why is the alphabet east? Because we are east of the prime meridian. Perfect. Similarly, the easternmost longitude of India is at 92. Sorry? Somebody spoke something.
Sorry, ma'am. Sorry. No.
Okay. So the easternmost longitude of India that you can see right here is 97 degrees 25 minutes east longitude. So we have the westernmost longitude as well as the easternmost longitude. Last time we also saw that the distance between the westernmost longitude and the easternmost longitude happens to be 30 degrees, right? That's something we happened to see last time also when we did the time sum. The distance between the easternmost and westernmost longitude happens to be about 30 degrees. That is why we were able to calculate a time difference of 2 hours. Another thing that we saw last time was that we have an Indian Standard Time which is now being taken into consideration. Please share the link one more time on the group. Somebody wants to join and is not able to find it. If one of you could please share the link on TG.
Yes, ma'am. I will.
Thank you. Okay. At the same time, if you were paying attention to the screen right now, you can see this particular line that we are showcasing, this dotted line, that is 82.5 degrees east. Now you have to remember that it cuts India over here from Nepal. This is one place called Mirzapur in Uttar Pradesh that it is cutting. And it is passing here through Andhra Pradesh. Right? These three important places you have to keep in mind. So I will erase the other lines from here so you can keep these three important markings. This one, which is where it is entering India from Nepal. This is the Mirzapur marking. And the third one, where it enters the Bay of Bengal from Andhra Pradesh. This meridian or longitude or 82.5 degrees east longitude is called the Standard Meridian of India or Indian Standard Time, IST. And this Indian Standard Time keeps the entire country's time at 1 clock only, so that we are not confused at why it is 12 noon in Gujarat and why is it 2 p.m. in Arunachal Pradesh. So we need to keep that in mind. Now we shall move to the next point. Now when you look at this, we are very, very clearly able to see the northernmost point of India. So the northernmost point of India is over here, right here, and that is at Indrakol in Ladakh. All right. I think there is an arrow which is pointing to Indrakol in Ladakh. And that is your 37 degrees 6 minute north, northernmost point. Over here at Cape Comorin in Tamil Nadu, that is 8 degrees 4 minutes north, which is your southernmost point of mainland India. The westernmost point of India, this is the westernmost point of India, which is Gaur Mata or Guhar Mata, depending on which person describes it. So different books call it by different names. But basically the spelling changes, but it's basically Gaur Mata. In Gujarat, which is your westernmost point, and it is at 68 degrees 7 minutes east longitude. The easternmost point that you are able to see in here is Arunachal Pradesh. The easternmost point in Arunachal Pradesh, which we are able to see here, is Kibittu in Arunachal Pradesh. The arrow is very well pointing there. at 97 degrees 25 minutes east. However, if you were asked the southernmost point of India, then it is somewhere here, and that is 8 degrees north of the equator, which is the Indira Point, which has been submerged in the tsunami. Clear? So, if you joined us today only for the first time, please take down the main points that we've covered. It will be difficult to remember as your exam approaches. So, northernmost point, I'm repeating, Indrakol in Ladakh at 37 degrees 6 minutes north. Southernmost point of mainland India is in Tamil Nadu at 8 degrees 4 minutes north, which is Cape Comorin. Westernmost point of India is Gaur Mata in Gujarat, 68 degrees 7 minutes east. Easternmost point is Kibithu in Arunachal Pradesh, which is 97 degrees 25 minutes east. And the southernmost point of India is Indira Point at 8 degrees north, which has submerged in the tsunami of 2004 or 2005, whatever the year was. Now let us look at the borders of India. So in the north, we have two kinds of borders. One is the northern border, one is the southern border. Now the northern borders of India are mainly land borders. There is no water body on the top. So the northern land border of India is 15,200 kilometers, and that is our international border. This includes Afghanistan, Pakistan, China, Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar, and Bangladesh. This is our northern border. And in the south, we have water bodies. We don't really have any land touching us in the south. So our international boundary in the south is the water boundary of 6,100 kilometers. And including the islands, if you count the islands, then the Indian coastline is 7516.6 kilometers. Right? So at any point in time, you still wish to ask a question, put it in the chat box. I will get your question. You need me to go slow, you want to copy something, then too you mention it in the chat box. I will immediately be able to see your message. So we have land borders, which are 15,200 kilometers in length, and they include Afghanistan, Pakistan, China, Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar, which we were calling Burma in the olden days, and Bangladesh. So maybe one or two words are being covered by my presence. Nonetheless, you're able to still get the screen correctly. Moving ahead. Now look at this. I'm showing you the Indo-Pak border here, or the India-Pakistan border, where the blue arrow points. And this border is called the Radcliffe Line. This border is 3323 kilometers long. The states that are included on the Indo-Pak border are Gujarat, Rajasthan, Punjab, Jammu Kashmir, and Ladakh. These are the states which are included in this border. On the Radcliffe Line, you have Gujarat, Rajasthan, Punjab, Jammu Kashmir, and Ladakh. Right on top, you can see a blue dot with an arrow, which is the POK, which is Pakistan Occupied Kashmir. So that part of India has been taken away from India. This picture is the China border. Now the China border is called the McMahon Line. It is 3488 kilometers in length. India and China share their border. India and China share their border through the following states: Ladakh, Himachal Pradesh, there's a single L to it. Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh. These are the states through which you have the McMahon line. McMahon line is the Indo-Chinese border. Ladakh, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Sikkim, and Arunachal Pradesh. These are the states on the Indo-China border. Now this top right part of the Indo-China border, if you spot, which is this part of the Indo-China border that I'm just coloring for you. This part of the Indo-China border is called Aksai Chin. Why is it called Aksai Chin? Because it is China-occupied Kashmir. So now on this small picture that you see on the screen, you are able to see the green part, which is POK, and the red part, which is Aksai Chin. Green part is POK, red part is Aksai Chin. So that much part of India has been taken away from India. You can now see Ladakh is just this tiny and Kashmir is just this tiny. So moving ahead, we will now discuss the physical features of India. Now, in the physical features of India, we are able to see the Himalayan mountains, the northern plains, the peninsular plateau, the Indian desert, the coastal plains, and the islands. So I'll give you about a minute to note them down. And then we shall rejoin on the same link. So I'll give you a minute to note them down, but then please rejoin in the same link. Himalayan mountains, northern plains, peninsular plateaus, Indian desert, coastal plains, and islands. These are the 6 physical features of India that we need to cover for our curriculum. And we will be dealing with the mountains today, though not everything. A major part of the mountain we will be covering. So since you are done, we shall rejoin on the same link. And we will begin from here. Thank you.